Walking down here again and holding the camera upside down, actually, it's much more comfortable and you're able to sort of keep it more steady. But we've been so lucky with this weather, so I've been able to prepare really easily for our Spanish trip because of all this blue sky and sun, just to check out colour and audio. There's one really handy thing I'm finding out about this camera. It's not so convenient, I suppose, as an Action 5 to use because of the screen, pulling it up and all that business, and attaching stuff for the audio to the side of the camera. But the picture quality, I think, in this kind of weather really works well for you, especially now it's got this portrait mode, which seems to calm down the HDR effect. In fact, it turns it off as far as what turned off means, but you don't get that sort of I've got makeup on today look. Of course, the other advantage is the fact that this has got a 2x zoom and you don't lose anything. So you can literally go from a shot like that to a shot like that, and that zoom is really useful. As far as settings go, I'm using what the guy in the book recommends. There's a car coming, so this is a good test. But I recommend, he recommended using vivid colour, which is what I'm using. And along with vivid colour, there goes the car, I've got it in auto, but I've restricted the ISO to 400, or 500, so it can't go too high when you go into the shade. And I'm just hoping that this is just adjusting the shutter rather than the ISO. So hopefully I'm getting a good picture, even when it comes to bright sunlight. Nice big red van coming, so if I keep talking, the mic will give us an idea. It's the postman, so that's quite nice. There he goes. So the idea of using 120 frames a second is to get a nice smooth action while you're walking, and it makes everything look so just nicer. So all you got to do is separate the thing from the video track, the audio away from the video track, and then stretch the video, just reattach them again. But if you get something like that car going past, you've got no option but to have it in the footage because the sound's going to have it. So once again, the zoom here comes in really handy because you can get in close without having to get up there. It's nice to see that big mud patch is clearing up now. It's been soaking down here, and at last it's starting to go. So we can do walks without worrying about getting muddy feet. That's the stuff I'm talking about there. And there again's an example of a shot that you couldn't take without the zoom really. You'd have to get in the field and take it, so there you go. So I think for the holiday, the zoom on this camera is going to be a really useful thing, especially taking shots from the liner back to the land and things further away, because the spaces involved on the sea on a liner are quite massive. Although we can't see them, the buzzards are out again because I can hear them. Well, there are clouds up there. I'll keep watching for the rain because we've got washing out. I don't want it to get wet. Whatever they are, those little poker things look quite interesting. They're all along here actually. My favourite stump. I always wonder, before that was chopped down, how long was that tree actually there? It's got a fantastic outlook. Here we are coming into April and everything's starting to sprout now. It's one of my favourite times of the year actually. It's amazing that in this day and age we still rely on ditches for our drainage. It's all very well having these ditches, but someone's got to clear them out or else they just get clogged up and they're just not going to work. But this one is still flowing okay. So this is what we're hoping to get in Spain. Nice warm weather, blue sky, but not too hot. That would be nice. There goes a ditch into another ditch. These ditches are a bit like a canal system, really. So the settings for this video are basically the settings that can't remember the guy's name, but he wrote a book about this camera as well as the actions, and he recommends using the settings I'm using now, which in some respects are just slightly unusual, in that he recommends using the vivid color profile, not the natural or normal, not the Leica, and not the flat. And the reason being, he's saying that vivid is colourful and makes things pop, and if there's too much colour you can always reduce it in post, which is what I'll do. I'm using a wireless microphone direct into the camera via the receiver. It's the little DJI Mini wireless, which has a good sound. As I said, vivid profile all along, and I've been switching in and out of 60 and 120 frames a second. I've limited the ISO to maximum of 400, just in case in shadow areas it wants to dip down into that 400 area. It can, but I don't think it will because it's quite a bright day. But mainly also I want to test for this new portrait mode with the new firmware and what it does to the colour of your skin in shade and sun. Because HDR very often makes the colour of your skin go weird and look a bit plastic, and at least with this now on the portrait mode anyway, it turns it off, gets rid of it, so quite good. The only thing is I'm going to be switching in and out of portrait mode while I'm on holiday, so I have to keep an eye on that. But I must admit it's an easy setup to use, and it's pretty quick, so I think this is going to do the job very, very well. Home for a nice cold drink.